Who wants to hear a funny story? Because I have one. Hi, I'm Wendy. Welcome to Pajama Days. I have started this channel about a year ago for encouraging people who struggle with cancer, chronic pain, fatigue, any of those things. And for the last several years, I have watched a lot of videos on van lifers or van campers. And I have been very intrigued. I didn't even grow up enjoying camping. I like to be comfortable. But so many people make it look easy and comfy and cozy. And I thought, I'm going to do that. Maybe something about the whole breast cancer. I'm too tired to do anything because of meds that I take. I don't know. I knew I had to keep it simple, but I started getting things here and there on the cheap. I found all kinds of little doodads at Harbor Freight, like magnet hooks and little clamp things. They look sort of like a metal clothespin. Just a lot of little things that you need to make things work. So I wanted, a curtain at the back window and a curtain behind the front seats. And I had to do different methods to come up with something that worked. And I finally, figured something out that would work for me. It was those little fabric clips that have the little pins in them. And after you get them in place, they pinch, and clip. And the only things that I have purchased that were of any expense were like a very small power station to at least run a fan because I have to be comfortable, and of course a mattress. And in the beginning I was trying to do it for my husband and me both, and so I bought 2 of those. Got them from Amazon. I didn't do anything that was difficult, and I didn't do anything that would be complicated. I always had in mind it had to be easy to put together and all that, or I wouldn't even do it. So I finally had everything together and ready, and this past week was my spring break, and I was going to do it. And I was going to do it if I had to do it in my own yard. My husband had to work, and we couldn't really go camping, so I was going to camp in my van in my yard. So I got situated. I had a cot I bought from Temu, my very nice trifold mattress on top of it, and my little power station, little curtain things, reflectix to go over windows that didn't have curtains over them. And if the reflectix didn't fit just right and I didn't have the right piece out there with me, I could just pull up my little shade and clip it and have privacy. I even had a little potty out there. I have a little collapsible potty. It's very sturdy. It holds plenty of weight. But I had some kind of mental block about using the bathroom in my van. Even though I had privacy, I just couldn't bring myself to do that. So when I got out there and started putting everything together, well, I put it together in the garage before I actually camped. And when I went camping, I parked in my own backyard, and I thought it was pretty level. I couldn't put my window covers on in the garage, so I did that at nighttime in the dark with a little battery operated lantern. And I worked myself up a sweat just trying to get those little curtain clipped up and the reflectix on the windows. Those people in those videos that make that look easy, I don't know how they do it, because it wasn't easy for me. Even though I had a plan, I'd done it before. I had tried things out from time to time to get a system that would work for me. And I went out there and I plugged up my little fan. Oh, I even had a gutter guard over one window so that my little fan would blow hot air out of the van if it was warm. And I expected it to be like in the 50s at night. And it was 67 degrees. That's too hot to be working. So I was just miserable. I finally get things situated, and oh goodness, I plugged up that little fan in that power station and hung it up on the little hook, at the handle right above the window. And it's just a tiny fan about that big around, so it wasn't doing anything massive. And it was just hotter than I expected it to be, and I was burning up. So I laid down on that cot in my mattress, and I reached up and pulled that little fan down and just put it in my face for a little bit. In the first 5 minutes that my little fan was on, my power station went down 1% a minute. And I was like, well, good grief. Is this only going to be usable for like 100 minutes? So I would turn it off and deal with it for a little while without the fan, and then turn the fan back on. Finally, I just thought, I don't want to use that potty out here. I'm not going to be out here all night. I'm just going to run this fan and see what happens. Well, I ran that fan, and I was awake, and I didn't go to sleep for the longest time. I usually go to sleep around 11, and it was a good 12:30, and I still wasn't asleep. 12:34, 12:38. I was like, good grief. I wasn't miserable anymore. I got to the place where I could at least cover up with a sheet, and then my little throw that I had on me. And I finally went to sleep, and I probably slept an hour or an hour and a half. My van wasn't as level as I thought it was, and I felt like I had to keep myself in that little cot, and I was afraid I was going to like roll out, so I couldn't relax. It was so ridiculous. So in the middle of the night when I woke up and I had to go to the bathroom close to 2 o'clock in the morning, I just pulled in the garage and said, I'm not doing this. I'm spoiled rotten to the comforts of home. I'm spoiled rotten to the comforts of a fifth wheel camper where we have power and running water and even full hookups. So I'm just not doing that. So if anybody wants to buy a cot, I've got one, and it's not terrible. It's just didn't work out for me. So I hope you have a good laugh over my hilarious camping adventure in the van that I'm actually not going to do. So anyway, I did try. Y'all have a good day.